Hi there and welcome back to the channel Life of Bob. This is the second in my Walks for All Ages that I'm going to do through this Walks of All Ages book by Carol Buckingham. 20 circular walks in South Yorkshire. I did the Bradfield Dale one, and that's on the channel if you want to look at it. Today I'm doing the Lower Porter Valley Walk, which starts here at Hunter's Bar. So we're here at Hunter's Bar, next to the River Porter here, just before it disappears underground and goes in various culverts down to the city centre. If any of you have followed any of my previous walks, then I do a walk from Forge Dam, which is where we'll be later on today, down to here, looking at a bit more depth into the history of some of the dams that you see on the way. Probably not going to be doing so much of that today. Today I'm just going to do this walk. I will stop at any sort of interesting spots. Like usual, what I tend to do, I tend to film all the walk, and the bits where I'm not going to be talking, I'll speed up the film to sort of jump past that bit. I like to film the whole walk, because then you can see what the paths are like all the way, rather than just the bits where I'm stopped. So I hope you enjoy that. I mean, do please stick it in the comments if you like that particular way of filming. Please just stick in the comments if you've walked down here before and there's things here that I've missed. So I hope you enjoy the walk. I'm going to get on now. According to the details in the book, let's have a look on there. As I said, the book gives you lots of this. So the basics, it's about 4.5 miles. There's a few short uphill sections and one sharp descent. Severity is easy, and I would say that's pretty much right, really. On there, it should take around about 2.5 hours. Paths, they are excellent surfaced parkland tracks and woodland paths with possible muddy patches, and there's a few bits that are on paths. There's public toilets here in Endcliffe Park at the bottom, but also up at Forge Dam, and there's a café both here and up at Forge Dam, and depending on what the time, I may stop and get a coffee on there, but it's just after 9 a.m. on a bit of a damp Tuesday, but I hope you enjoy the walk, and we'll see you in a bit. So yeah, let's crack on. So, a statue of Queen Victoria, erected by the citizens of Sheffield in memory of the great Queen. Right, I'm going to sort of test my knowledge of Roman numerals here and try and work it out. 1904, I think that is. MDCCCC. So M is 1,000, D is 500, CCCC is 400, so that'll be 1900, and IV, so yeah, 1904. Here's an interesting rock probably nearly everybody walks past and never really reads. But what you've got here is a quite a big rock, and I don't know if you can read the inscription. What it says the adjoining land to the extent of 9 acres was purchased by subscription and presented to the Corporation of Sheffield for the purpose of a public recreation ground, in commemoration of the Jubilee of Her Majesty the Queen Victoria in 1887. So that's essentially when Endcliffe Park here down at the bottom of the Porter Valley became a park. So quite a way through the walk now. We've come up from Hunter's Bar. Just come across the stepping stones here. Probably about another 20-30 minutes up to Forge Dam. We'd circle on that and then come back down, but come down a slightly different route. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying the walk so far. As I say, do feel free to have a look at some of my other walks. Have a look at the walk that I did for the Porter Valley going down, where I actually stop and look at the dams in a bit more detail. So do have a look at that. And yeah, so we'll carry on the walk. And I say, if you've got this far in so far, please do consider giving the video a like. It doesn't cost anything, and it does let the YouTube algorithms know that at least some people are watching this content, and do thank you for watching. And if you think you'd like to watch some of these other walks, particularly these other ones in this series, which are 20 circular walks around Sheffield and South Yorkshire, do please consider liking and subscribing so as you don't miss the next one. Okay, and so back to the walk. So here I am at Forge Dam, enjoying a nice cup of coffee. The weather's been really weird. This time last week I walked up here from Hunter's Bar with just a t-shirt on, and it was 15-16 degrees. It was lovely. And now the weather's turned again, and it's now around about 10 degrees. So even though the it's cloudy and threatening rain, the weather's not too bad. I mean, I'm actually sat outside. I wouldn't have been sat outside 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to finish this cup of coffee, and then I'm going to crack on with the walk. So I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, so here we're at the spillway just off Forge Dam. So this is the water coming off the top, and then back that will follow down and back join the river further down. So let's crack on with this walk. So here we are at Forge Dam. So the walk we're on takes us round the dam, round a path across the top so we can look down onto the dam, and then heads back. And heads back to Endcliffe Park, but via a slightly different path. So not too much of the same, but then it's same but different. It's interesting that basically this one's a bit different because the river flows directly into the dam by the looks of it, whereas a lot you'd have the river flowing alongside the dam with a weir to take water off into the dam, but in this case the river flows straight into the dam, and then you've got the waterfall and the drop off where I showed you before. So yeah, interesting little bit of info about the dam here, in that the river flows straight into it rather than having a head gate. Right, so we turn left here. So here we are at Forge Dam. Yeah, so I've had me coffee. And now it's time to crack on back with the walk. So yeah, so it's a really good walk actually, this one. It's very easy. I mean, the path I came across was, it's, I would say, well compacted forest path. So easy to walk on. But there is, if you are a bit more challenged from the walk point of view, there is a bridleway that essentially parallels the forest path, and that is very, very easy. It being a bridleway, it tends to get used by cyclists and the occasional horse rider. But it is a very, very easy path to walk on. So yeah, so even if you're a bit challenged from a point of view of walking, it does. This walk is a really nice walk. Yeah, so I've just come back past the path here. Now it is a bit of a challenge to get. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a path coming up from the café here, but it is a path, not steps. Quite steep, so you know, if you're pushing a wheelchair or on wheels, then it could be a bit of a push to get up there. But yeah, not too bad. So what does it look like from up here? Well, here we go. This is the Forge Dam from the top. Put it onto 2 times a bit there. So you've got the cafe at the bottom corner there, I just had my coffee, and you've got Forge Dam itself. Okay, I'm on the way again. Okay, I had a little bit of an issue there. I've been shooting the first half of the walk without any problems, and then when I set off again from Forge Dam, I started to get some card issues, saying basically the card wasn't fast enough, so it was crashing after a minute. So I've lost some of the walk from Forge Dam to here, which is not much. It's only about 4 or 5 minutes of footage, but I end up having to do a full restart of the system, take the memory card out and put it back in again, and hopefully that will have resolved the issue. So this is Whiteley Dam. Now what I'm just going to pop down onto the path down here. Because there's a memorial here to a chap by the name of Thomas Bolsover. So I'll read this out just in case it's not very clear. It says, "This memorial was erected partly of the stones from a mill built near this place by Thomas Bolsover, the inventor of Sheffield plate. Born in 1705, died in 1788, he carried on his industries here and resides at the Whiteley Wood Hall from 1762 until his death. And this was erected by David Flather, who was the master cutler in 26 to 27. As I said, just to remind you, this is a walk from this book here, Walks for All Ages. So we're back in woodland again, and here we come along here, and then I think we go into the book, take branch left again into woodland. So we'll there's a little branch here, so we'll go off to the left, and hopefully that should, according to the map, join us up with a bridleway. So let's carry on. Okay. And this is Highcliffe Road, which is where we should be. Okay, so we cross the road, go to the instructions, cross the road, then turn left, onto a side path, which looks like this one. One thing you're going to get a lot of if you do any walking, especially around Sheffield, is hills. So if you don't like walking up hills, there's sort of alternative routes. I've got to admit, I do find hills a bit of a tough going, and because of my angina, I do tend to have to take a few rests. Well, I've got to admit, to say I've been doing some hills today, I've not really had any problems at all with my angina today, which is always a bonus. Anyway, let's crack on up here. be honest, I nearly abandoned this walk early on. At the beginning, when it definitely felt as if the rain was coming on, I nearly decided to abandon it and do it another day, but I'm glad I didn't, because it's actually turned out into quite a pleasant day. I mean, I said the temperature's probably around about 10, 11 degrees. Oh, look at that. We've got a bit of blossom there. Oh, that's nice. You've got those bare trees behind it, and then you've got blossom on the tree just there. Oh, that's very pretty. I think I might take a picture of that. Mark that down. Okay. Right. I'll head on down the path. So we have this obelisk that was, as it says there, erected to commemorate the Jubilee of Queen Victoria in 1887. Okay, so the path in the book asks us to just follow the path back past the cafe and back down, but I want to take you to somewhere a little bit interesting, which is behind the cafe. So we're going to follow the path this way and go behind the cafe. And what we find if we go this way is this, which is the Mi Amigo Aircraft War Memorial. So we're going to head in this direction. This is something that I think is often forgotten about in regard to Endcliffe Park, and it's something that is very easily missed. And what it says here, it says erected by Sheffield RAF Association in memory of the 10 crew of the US AAF bomber which crashed in this park on the 22nd of July 1944. And then you've got the name of the air crew below. You've got this bench here. It says this bench is a gift from the US Embassy in London with appreciation to the people of Sheffield for honouring the American airmen of the B-17 Mi Amigo. So that's that little walk for you. So thank you for joining me on this walk. If you managed to keep it if you managed to stay with me this long, thank you very much. And do please consider liking the video. As I say, it's people like you that help the channel grow. So as we come to the end of this, thank you very much. As I say, this is the Lower Porter Valley walk from this book here. Walks for all ages, 20 circular walks in South Yorkshire. And just like to say thank you again for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this walk. Lots of interesting bits on it. Some bits I've never seen before, which is quite nice. So as we come up to Hunter's Bar again now, where we started the walk, just like to say thank you again. Please consider liking and subscribing the channel so as you can see the other walks. I say this is the second of a walk of a series of 20 that I'm going to be doing around South Yorkshire. So if you subscribe and hit that notification bell, you'll know when I do the next one. So again, thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time.